Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel and another weekly watches. Apologies that I didn't have one up last weekend. In all honesty, there were too many films that I had seen within that week, so the video would have ended up being too long. But I did mention them all at the start of Monday night's stream last week. So if you're interested to see what they were, you can either go back and watch the start of that stream, or they're all logged on Letterboxd, so you can have a look on Letterboxd. I don't give my thoughts obviously on Letterboxd anymore because it just takes too much time for me. But you can see everything I've watched if you are interested. I don't know why I've not pulled them off yet. They're in front of me. All good stuff this week. I didn't watch a film that I didn't get on with this week, which is good. I enjoyed everything I've watched this week. And that's because I've been going off of my Letterboxd watch list, and everything that's on my Letterboxd watch list now is something, it's all recommendations. So through videos that I watch, things that people have been recommending. So there might be some channel mentions here, probably will be, because all of these are pretty much because someone has recommended them to me. So I've gone ahead and pulled them out, bought them, watched them, all of that stuff. So yeah, I will say before I get started, there won't be any weekly watches now for, I think it's going to be about a month. Well, no, 3 weeks I think it is. No, it is a month. Because next weekend is Easter weekend and I'm not here, so I won't be here to record my weekly watches. The weekend after that I'm away as well, so again I won't be able to record my weekly watches, and the weekend after that as well. So 3 weeks on the trot, there won't be one, because I'm not here for the whole weekend. If it was just a day, I'd probably change it to like the Saturday or whatever, but because it's the whole sort of week, I might try and do next week's, maybe record it Monday when I get home from work before the stream if I get time. But if not, yeah, like I said, there won't be one. But I'll try and do some other videos in place of that to go up during the week. But anyway, let's get started. First up, and the first film is a recommendation from my very good friend Sammy G, over at Sammy G's World of Cinema. I think he recommended this to me a while back now, and I picked it up very recently on Blu-ray and gave it a watch. I think it was after the stream on Monday night, maybe? Yeah, I think it was after the stream on Monday night. And that is Cyrus, Jonah Hill, John C. Reilly, Marissa Tomei and Catherine Keener. Little sort of indie comedy drama, hour and a half, very quick, easy watch. Follows John C. Reilly's character, who instantly falls for Marissa Tomei's character. But he later finds out that she still lives with her 22-year-old son, who's very much a mummy's boy, very clingy, and wants to basically get rid of him. So it's that sort of thing. It's a small comedy. It's like I said, it's not very long. It's quite good. It's quite funny. I liked it. I like John C. Reilly. I think he's pretty funny. It had some pretty funny moments in it as well. If you like these sorts of films, it's a very easy watch. It's a nice film, so yeah, I would recommend it. That is Cyrus. Next up, I believe this was a recommendation from Ash over at Popcorn and Horror. I think he watched this one recently and said it was just a lot of fun, so I decided what the hell I'll pick up, and I thought it was a lot of fun as well. And that's Shoot 'Em Up. Clive Owen, Paul Giamatti, and Monica Bellucci. Very great, like, balls to the wall, short, very fast-paced action flick. Follows this random guy, I think he's Smith, if I remember rightly. Yes, Smith, that's it, that's all he's known as. And he sat on a bench, I'm assuming waiting for a bus, eating his carrot. And he witnesses this pregnant lady basically being chased. So he goes and intervenes, helps her. There's these hitmen trying to basically kill her. And he's obviously got these skills, and he fucks them up basically. And it's just all these loads and loads of them come after him, because they're after this baby. And yep, he basically has to try and protect the baby and survive, essentially. And he's got Paul Giamatti, who is basically the head of these hitmen group, going after them. It's just a very, very fun, fast-paced action film. Lots of good stylized action in there. Yeah, if you like a nice, short little action film, keeps you entertained, I'd give this one a go. It's a lot of fun. So thanks, Ash, for that recommendation. That is Shoot 'em Up. I don't know who recommended this one. It might have been Andy, possibly. I'd imagine it's the type of film that Andy would watch. It's Gary the Tennis Coach, which is also known as, I don't think it says this other name on it, Balls Out, the Gary Houseman Story. Sean William Scott, Randy Quaid, who's not in it very much. It basically follows Sean William Scott's character. He's a janitor at this like sort of high school, I suppose it is. He's like he's always been, tennis has always been in his life, but he's never managed to make it professional. One day, the coach of the sports coach, tennis coach of the school, notices his skill and asks him to be his assistant coach. Something unfortunate happens, which means that Gary needs to step up and become sort of their head coach. And it's basically him trying to make them a great team, even though they're all a bit of oddballs. But it's a lot of fun. It's, again, a very short, less than 90-minute film, 88 minutes. It's a sort of like late noughties sort of comedy you would expect, especially starring Sean William Scott. Yeah, it entertained me for the hour and a half. Of all the films this week, it's probably be on the lower end, but I still enjoyed it. Like I said, there's no films this week that I didn't like. But yeah, that's Gary, the Tennis Coach. Next up, I don't know who recommended this, but it was on my watch list, and I've had the DVD for a while, and I've only ever heard people praise this film. I'm sure many people have probably told me to watch this before, and I was riveted. My eyes didn't move from the screen whilst watching this. I thought it was a fantastic film. I think I gave it 3.5 or 4 stars on Letterboxd, and that is Southern Comfort, which is a Walter Hill film starring Powers Booth, Keith Carradine. You've got other people in it. You've got their leader is why am I banging my head? I'm trying to think of his name. He was in another film that I watched. Peter Coyote, that's his name. It's not on the back, it just came to me. He plays their sort of leader. You got Fred Ward, who's an absolute bastard in this. It's a different type of Vietnam like film because it's not actually set in Vietnam. It's about these, are they like, they're not Rangers, are they, or something? National Guard. And they're on this sort of training course in the bayou in the early 70s during the war. And they get caught up in something, and then it becomes sort of like a fight for survival, and it's a fantastic film. The characters in this are excellent. I just thought it was a thoroughly entertaining story. It had me all the way through. If you've not seen Southern Comfort and you want a good like thriller war type film, really do recommend this. Walter Hill is a fantastic director. He's becoming a favourite. Yeah, very glad that I gave that a watch. So that's Southern Comfort. Next up, this just was on my list because I dropped it. We on last week's stream we were talking about Robin Williams and we basically went over his whole filmography and talked about the ones we'd seen. Obviously, some of us, there were quite a few that none of us had seen, and this was one of them that is the only one that was on the list that I owned, and I hadn't seen yet. So I thought I'd give it a go because I just love Robin Williams. And it's a film called The Big White. So it's Robin Williams, Woody Harrelson, Holly Hunter, Giovanni Ribisi, Tim Blake Nelson. There's quite a few people in there. Alison Lohman. I think those are all the main names. And it's a black comedy, I would say. He basically plays this travel agent in like a very cold Alaskan town, I suppose. And he's really struggling to make ends meet. He wants to try and claim off his brother's life insurance because he's really struggling, and his brother's been missing. He hasn't seen his brother for 5 years. So he goes to the insurance company and says, "Can I make a claim?" And they're like, "Unfortunately, without a body, he is still only missing, and you can't do it for like 7 years after they've been missing or something." So one day, these two hitmen come outside his place of work. There's a like sort of big bin that the locals just dump loads of crap in, and these two hitmen obviously dump a dead body in there. Robin Williams' character sort of stumbles upon it and has an idea in his head. He's gonna make the body out to be his brother, and then he will be able to claim the life insurance off of it. So he does so. You've got Giovanni Ribisi, who's sort of the insurance agent. He just wants to get a promotion and get out of Alaska. So he doesn't really want to give any money away. He's trying to do all of his cases, basically, make sure that nobody gets any money. Very scrutinizes everything in his cases. And basically, he's after Robin Williams. It's like a dog with a bone. He knows that there's something off, so he's going after him. And lo and behold, his brother that he assumed was dead because he hadn't seen for 5 years turns up after hearing that his body had been found. Obviously, it wasn't him. And shit hits the fan, shall we say. His wife, Robin Williams' character's wife, Holly Hunter, has some form of Tourette's. So he wants to look after her as well and make sure she's got everything she needs. It's a really good dark, like black comedy. It's always good seeing these sorts of films. Another one that sort of gives you the same feeling is a film I watched not that long ago called Thin Ice with Greg Kinnear, Billy Crudup and Alan Arkin. Similar sort of black comedy. Lots of elements of like Fargo in here. So if you like Fargo, this is a similar sort of story, similar sort of tone to the film. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was an entertaining, interesting short film as well. So yeah, that's The Big White. Next up, another one that Sam recommended to me. Well, he didn't recommend it personally to me, but he recommended it on one of his videos. I don't think it's his most recent, what does he call it? Unwatched Shelf, I think he calls it. Video is the one before, and he was talking about this, and the amount of passion he had whilst he was talking about this made me just instantly want to pick it up and give it a watch, and I'm glad I did because I also loved it. And that's Everybody Wants Some, Richard Linklater film, set in at the turn of the 80s basically, and it's set the weekend before college starts, and it's a group of housemates, I suppose, and them are like sort of in college life, so they go out drinking, trying to get with as many girls as they can, partying, that sort of thing. Your typical sort of stoner comedy. It's like it's described as a spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused, which I really need to watch because I've never seen that before. But you got like Glenn Powell before he was as he is now. He seems to be the it guy now. Wyatt Russell as well is in this. Zoe Deutsch. I'm trying to think of other people that are fairly well known now. Those are the main ones, to be fair. But it's a very fun film, got a fantastic soundtrack as well. Very 80s. If you like films set in the 80s, especially like college films set in the 80s, highly recommend this one. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Sam, for recommending this one. I did enjoy that one. That's Everybody Wants Some. This one, I think I was just watching some trailers last week or the week before, and I just stumbled across this one and thought, yeah, this looks like a pretty decent watch. And it was a couple of quid on DVD on eBay, so I picked it up. And because it was a short one, I decided to give it a watch the other night. And it's a film called Choke, and it stars Sam Rockwell. It's based on a book by the author of Fight Club, and it's written and directed by Clark Gregg, who is probably most known for playing Agent Coulson in the MCU. He's also married to Jennifer Grey, and Joel Grey, his father-in-law, also has a small role in this film, as does he. as I said, Sam Rockwell's the lead in here. You've got Angelica Houston, who plays Sam Rockwell's character's mother, who's in this sort of old people's mental institute, I suppose. You've got Kenny MacDonald, who is a doctor looking after his mother, and he sort of falls for her, I suppose. And it's basically a very adult, dark sex comedy. It's about a guy, he's a sex addict, just has sex everywhere, anywhere, all the time. His life revolves around sex. He goes to visit his mother in this mental institute, but she never recognises him. She always thinks he's like a dead lawyer, which is quite a funny, bizarre thing. Angelica Houston's brilliant in this. And the reason it gets its title is because for attention, because he loves to get attention, and he loves feeling loved or something. He basically purposely chokes on his own food and gets people to obviously help him. And that is basically where the title of the film comes from. It's, like I said, just from that, it's quite dark, quite messed up, but it's also very funny. If you like the sound of that, I would recommend giving it a go. It's a very different type of film to what I was expecting. Very twisted, messed up in some places, but I liked it. I thought it was a good little small, again, indie film. So yeah, that was Choke. Then I believe Sam recently picked this one up, and he was saying that how good it was, and I've heard other people say in the past how good it was. And it's a cheap enough Blu-ray, but for some reason I've never owned it and never watched it. Although it's sort of, a lot of people say it's like one of the best films from this year. And that is Drive with Ryan Gosling. Basically in this, he plays sort of a getaway driver, part-time getaway driver, I suppose, stuntman as well, and a mechanic. He works for Shannon, played by Bryan Cranston in this. And one day Albert Brooks' character, who's like a local mobster, and his partner, played by Ron Perlman, who's quite sadistic and a lot more mean-tempered than Albert Brooks' character. They approach him and ask him if he could, like, drive for them, like on the books, drive for them. Nothing dodgy or anything. He also meets his neighbour, played by Carey Mulligan, who is struggling. She's got a young son, and her husband's in prison, played by Oscar Isaac. He just gets released, and basically there's people that are onto him. He owes them money, so the only way for him to get out of it is to do this big job, rob somewhere. So he basically, the driver, played by Ryan Gosling, sympathises with him because obviously he has feelings for Carey Mulligan's character. So he agrees that he will be the driver for them on this job. But this job goes horribly wrong and things spiral out of control from there, and I'll leave it at that. It's a really good film of two halves. The first film's very calm. It's got very ambient music in it, very neutral, no violence at all. It's just very a mood of a film. And then it flips. It flips as soon as this job happens. It absolutely flips, and that music still stays there, which is what makes it so effective, because the violence is so extreme in this film. It's really bad in this film, and it kind of comes out of nowhere because obviously you've seen the first half of this film, and it's a very calm film. He's very calm throughout the start of this film, and it just balls to the wall, hits the fan, all that. But it's a very well made film. I don't know how much rewatchability it would have for me. I'll keep it in the collection because you never know, 10 years down the line I might go back to it again, because it's not a bad film. Like I said, it's a really well made film. I did enjoy it, but it is also at the same time very hard to watch. But I still would recommend it. That is Drive. 2 to go. Next up, I don't remember who recommended this. It could have been Ash. I think it might have been Ash. It might have been Andy. Someone recommended it because it was on my list. And I'm gonna say this is the highlight of the week for me. I watched this last night and I just absolutely loved it. I've got another film with the same lead actor in it lined up to watch later on tonight, so that'll be on my next weekly watches, or you can look for it on my Letterboxd account. Good Luck Chuck, Dane Cook, Dan Fogler, Jessica Alba, raunchy sex sort of comedy, rom-com, loved it. Follows Charlie, played by Dane Cook, who has sort of like a curse. Basically, when he was younger, a girl basically hexed him, is what they call it, so that basically when, I don't know how, it probably explains it better on here. Basically, he can never find love. Basically, any woman that he sleeps with will then find their true love, basically. So obviously then there's loads of women lining up to basically sleep with him so they can find their true love. And he just doesn't like this curse because he meets Jessica Alba's character, who he instantly falls for. They form a connection, and yeah, he just doesn't want to go too far because he's worried that if he goes too far, he'll lose her and she'll fall out of love with him and find her true love. It's, yeah, quite funny. You got Dan Fogler, who plays his best friend, who's just an absolute dick. He's like a plastic surgeon. Just, again, sex oriented. He just, everything to him is about sex. Whereas Dane Cook's character Charlie just wants to find a proper love because he's never had that before. Yeah, really sweet romantic comedy. It's quite raunchy as well. I mean, it's an 18. This is the fruity edition. It goes there, but yeah, I really did like this. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad I watched it. So thanks to whoever recommended this one. That is Good Luck Chuck. And last but not least, I don't think anyone recommended this to me. It was a charity shop pickup, and I fancied to watch a rom-com, and I was intrigued because of one of the supporting cast members in this. It intrigued me. It's a film called It's a Boy-Girl Thing. Stars Kevin Zegers and Samari Armstrong. Not familiar with either of them. But what got me is that Sharon Osbourne's in this, which is random because I didn't know she acted. Apparently I did have a look. This is the only film that she's actually played a role in before. She plays the lead character's mum in the film. She's not in it much, but it's a body swap film. It's about these two. They live next to each other. They hate each other. And one day they go to this museum and there's this big statue god thing that basically swaps their bodies. They've then got to learn to live in each other's bodies, but whilst doing so, as you can expect, they fall in love with each other. It's that sort of film. Yeah, good soundtrack. Again, not too long, entertaining film. If you like those sorts of films, then I'd recommend it. It's, like I said, not got much of a cast to it. I didn't really know anyone in it, but it looked like my sort of film, and it was. So I am glad that I gave it a watch. So that's It's a Boy-Girl Thing. So that is everything that I've watched this week. Let me know your thoughts on any of the titles that I've watched this week down below in the comments. Yep, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Before I go, obviously, live stream tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And it'll probably just be myself, Andy, and Kenny again. We'll see. We might get someone else on if someone else is free. We shall see. But yeah, join us if you can. It's always appreciated. Anyone stopping by. But yeah, as I said, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. As you know, I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.